Hey, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the best builds that you can be using right now. We kind of talked and speculated about this build before Renegades, but now with the expansion actually launching and us actually being able to try this build, we finally see what it can do. And my god, it has exceeded pretty much all the expectations I had. I knew it was going to be good, but didn't expect it to be this good. Especially now that we got a chance to try the Fragment blade, this build with that just goes together perfectly. Today's build is gonna be all about being able to clear rooms of ads with just unlimited grenades. Our grenades are gonna be doing a lot of damage, as well as just constantly help us stay alive through the power, as well as also just constantly apply weaken on pretty much any enemy that we see. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you guys do, remember to like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys aren't already for some more Destiny 2 builds. And now let's get into it, and first we gotta talk about the exotic because it's the main thing that's making this possible and all the buffs that it got. And that exotic is the Nathan Manacles. I've been really excited about the Nathan Manacles and like the updates and buffs it was gonna get since we saw them, and this thing is just crazy now. It got essentially buff in every single way, the damage, the tracking, while at the same time also having another ability added to the exotic. Now whenever your scattering grenades get some final blows, they create more scattered projectiles. And that's not just a one-time thing. If those projectiles keep getting kills, they will just keep creating more projectiles. So if there's enough enemies around and your projectiles just keep going around just killing them, they will just constantly keep spawning them. So the more enemies there are, the better these gauntlets actually get. And this ended up actually being crazier than I expected. I mean, take a look at it yourself. I'm going to be playing some clips here so you guys can see just how the scatter grenades just go off. The extra damage, the better tracking are also really helping them. But all those seekers that just constantly spawn are really the highlight of this like big buff that they got. And it also giving you another grenade means that you never run out of grenades. You have so many grenades always available to you, and you're constantly getting more energy, that you're running out of grenades with this build is something that rarely happens. You pretty much have to like completely miss 1 or 2 grenades and then not get any kills at all. It's like very rare for you to actually run out of grenades. Now you don't have to run this with specific weapons, but the Fragment blade is just amazing with this build because it gives you a lot of survivability, and also because of the ridiculous amount of sword mods in the artifact that makes swords just ridiculous. And it's also just a new weapon that's fun to use. That's sometimes enough, but I definitely think that this works really well with our scatter grenades. We just charge them, throw them out there, and then any other enemies that we run into, we can either block and add some survivability to ourselves, or we can just go around and killing them with our blade. If you do have some of the upgrades, I recommend the Hyper Blade, because this gives you amplified, and the amplified gives you some damage resistance, which is something that we don't typically get whenever we run void builds. But this sword actually gives us a very easy way of getting that damage resistance just by blocking some shots. So this one is definitely one that I would recommend that you get on your Fragment blade. Now let's move on and let's actually talk about this subclass and how we have the subclass set up. First of all, for the super, you can go with any of them. I was using the Nova Bomb Vortex for a while, and that one worked pretty well. Just the regular Cataclysm Nova Bomb is also nice. And in some more casual stuff, even the Nova Warp with the recent buffs that it got can be pretty fun. And I always like to encourage you to actually like try out some of these buffs that happen at the start of the season. So maybe give the Vortex or Nova Warp a try, even if they're not like the best. Now your riff is another one of those things that you don't really have to have anything specific. Either of them is gonna work. Now for a grenade, of course you want the scatter grenade. The whole build centers around the scatter grenades. Our exotic doesn't do anything without scatter grenades, so it's pretty much like a requirement. And then for the aspects, we want to have Chaos Accelerant as well as Feed the Void. Feed the Void is going to give us a lot of survivability through the Bower. Every time that we get a kill with our ability, it will proc the Bower, which is going to get us some health on kill, as well as grenade energy on kill. So it helps both with our survivability, as well as just being able to get more grenade energy, so we can just keep throwing grenades out there. On our other aspect, Chaos Accelerant is gonna let us charge up our scatter grenade, so we can get all those benefits with the improved tracking, with the better damage, as well as an additional grenade. And this does stack with the additional grenade we are already getting from the gauntlets, so instead of just getting 2 grenades, we actually end up with 3. Now for the aspects, we're going to be keeping this pretty simple. We have the Echo of Explosion, so whenever we get some Void ability final blows, it causes targets to explode. And we also get a nice bump to our super. This one just adds even more hat clear on top of all the explosions we're already doing. After that, we're going to have the Echo Persistence, and this is going to increase the amount of time that we can have on our Devourer buff, essentially guaranteeing that we always have it up. Even when there's a bit of downtime in between waves of ads, we'll still be able to keep that Devourer going with those extra couple of seconds. After that, we're going to have the Echo of Undermining, and this will allow our grenades to weaken. Our grenades are already pretty strong, but with a weakening effect on top of them, they just get even crazier. And considering the amount of grenades we're going to be throwing out there, I mean most of our kills are going to be with grenades, this is just perfect. And lastly, we're going to have the Echo Harvest. Whenever we defeat some weakened targets, we create Orbs of Power as well as Void Breaches. This is going to give us a very consistent way of making a ton of orbs for ourselves as well as our teammates. Now when it comes to the stats they want on this build, the main stat you want to focus on is going to be, of course, Grenade. You want to get this stat as high as you can. The closer you can get to 180 the better, because it just means that you're going to have more damage on your grenades, and they're going to essentially be turned into mini nukes that are going to just destroy everyone, including some of the tougher enemies. And after the grenade, you can put some points into super and class ability, and maybe even weapons, although weapons is not really something that we're going to be using too often, besides our blade. Now for the mods that you want to have on this build, for the helmet, you want to go with Kinetic Siphon for your blade, Special Ammo Finder, again for your blade, and lastly Ashes to Assets, meaning that we can get a bit of extra super grenade energy every time we get a kill with our grenade. For the gauntlets, you want to go with Fastball, so you can throw your grenades a little farther away, Firepower, so we can get some orbs whenever we get some kills with our grenades, and lastly a Grenade Fund, which can help you max out your grenade stat. This is going to be very useful, especially because of all the orbs that we're going to be making. We're basically always going to have our Grenade Fund and our armor charge always going. For our chest piece, we're going to have just normal resistances, harmonic resistance, sniper resistance, concussive dampener, pretty normal stuff. For the boots, you want to go with Absolution, Innervation, and then Kinetic Holster. Why do we have Kinetic Holster? Actually, this is the wrong one. We do not actually, in fact, want Kinetic Holster. And with this, we're going to be getting all our abilities back whenever you pick up some orbs. We're going to give our Praxic Blade a bit of extra damage, and then get even more grenade energy for those orb pickups. And lastly, for the class item, we'll have Time Dilation, Reaper, as well as Bomber, so we can get some more grenade energy when they're using a class ability, so we can make more orbs after using a class ability, and lastly, Time Dilation, which was going to extend the duration of our armor charge. It gives a couple extra seconds, and combined with something that we have on the artifact that's going to give us more armor charge in total, it's going to make it so our armor charge is essentially always going, and we never really run into any issues keeping it up. Lastly, let's talk about the artifact and use essentially all the ridiculous sword mods. I don't think we've seen this many mods for one specific weapon type in a very long time. But most of these are going to be for the sword, not really so much for the grenade build that we have. But the grenade build is already at the point where it's really good and it gives you a lot of things that you would want anyways, that it doesn't really need any extra mods. But there is two really good ones right here. At the very start, funnily enough, you have Gravitic Voltaic Charge. While you have an Arc or Void super equipped, increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charge you can carry by 1. It's a very simple upgrade, but it's definitely going to help us and just increase the uptime that we actually have that maxed out grenade stat and also that extra damage on our blade. Another good one is going to be Elemental Siphon, whenever we get some rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon, or with a weapon matching our equipped super, we'll create some more elemental pickups. So very simple again, but this is going to be pretty effective. And even though I don't have the whole artifact, I already know exactly what I'm going to be going for. For the sword, we have Repose, which means that after you guard with your sword, your heavy and light attacks are going to be able to stun unstoppable champions. So you'll be able to deal with champions with your sword. And we also have Kinetic Synthesis, Whenever we do sustain kinetic weapon damage and rapid final blows, we have a chance to generate a unique brick that will give us ammo on our equipped kinetic weapon and also give us special and heavy ammo progress. This just gives you a crazy amount of ammo on your sword, and it just means that you're gonna be able to use it a lot more often and just be your main weapon, even though it's a special weapon. Then for this third slot, Singularity Blade is gonna add even more weaken to your build. Whenever you get some sword kills, since we're always gonna have an elemental buff, we're gonna be doing weakening bursts, that are just gonna, well, weaken everything around us. Combination Argent Blade is gonna give us a bit of extra damage, as well as Armor Smith, which is gonna give us more survivability and damage whenever we break combatant shields. And for this final column, we have Kinetic Rupture, which is going to essentially give all our kinetic weapons, meaning our sword, kinetic tremors that are going to be able to stagger unstoppable champions. Again, just adding even more damage to our sword. And then there's even another perk called Sword Storm Combo, performing 3 light attacks followed by a heavy. Basically the combo that you do on the Praxic Blade will summon penumbral blades that surround you and damage and disorienting combatants. Sword final blows with extended duration, or the penumbral blades. This is just gonna be even crazier. While I don't have it myself, I have seen this mod in action, and it just adds even more to it. Like I said, there's just so many mods right here that not running a sword right now might even put you at a disadvantage. So we have all the great grenade buffs, and our grenades essentially being able to clear out rooms, while at the same time having this sword that has tons of ammo and just a ridiculous amount of artifact mods just helping it just do more damage. And with that, that's pretty much the build. The gameplay loop for this build is very simple. You charge up your grenade, you throw it into a group of enemies, and then you use watch and destroy all the enemies. As soon as you get a kill with your grenade, it's going to also proc Devour, which means that you're going to get a bunch of grenade energy back, as well as give you health every time that you get a kill. You basically just keep charging up your grenades and spamming them, and then if there's a couple of other enemies around, just block with your sword to get the amplified, if you do have that upgrade, to get some damage resistance, and then just go off and kill the rest of them with your blade. It's like one of the most simple builds to actually execute and do well with, but man, does it have so much power built into it. Definitely give it a try if you guys haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Like always, there's gonna be a dim link in the comments below, so make sure you guys check it out. Peace, peace.